set on down, I'm able to
Please,
well, then, it won't help.
are you okay?
Yeah. How you doing? Duff here, and what you see in front of you is not an optical illusion. This is actually a Onewheel Plus XR. I guess you don't call it a skateboard. It's kind of a unique thing, although it is, first glance you would think skateboard, but it really is kind of its own category of personal transportation devices. I got this this week. I don't know that I've talked much about it on video, but I have been considering getting one of these for a few weeks. And the problem is they were back ordered on the Onewheel website for at least a month, and not even maybe even 2. And the other day, just for the heck of it, I looked on the Onewheel website for dealers, like local dealers, and I found out that there was one in Fort Myers, the Ron John Surf Shop in Fort Myers. And just for the heck of it, I called them to see if they had any, and believe it or not, they actually had just gotten 2 of the Onewheel Plus XRs the other day, and they had 2 of just the plain Onewheel Pluses. So I headed up there after work and grabbed myself one, and felt very, very fortunate to find one. It was just kind of dumb luck. But here it is. So I'm not doing an official unboxing because the box is already open, and I don't really feel like faking it or anything, but I can tell you what's in the box. Besides the wheel, obviously, which is already assembled, all you have to do is take off a couple little protective sheets that are on the pedals that also give you some information regarding the app and the basics of how to get on and get off the Onewheel. You get a full manual, which is crazy, which, you know, with electric unicycles, I'm used to something. It's a full manual, which with electric unicycle, you usually get like a one page or couple page brochure in Chinese, which tells you very little. So this is a full manual, which I'm not used to at all. The Onewheel XR charger feels very robust. This wheel, supposedly, it'll charge from empty in about 100 minutes, so relatively fast charge time. And you can get 12 to 18 miles of range on a full charge, although I have seen people getting much more than that. I saw a video of some guy that got 23 miles of range on his Onewheel. It all depends on the kind of riding, how much you weigh, you know, the wind that you're dealing with. There's a whole bunch of factors, so it is definitely possible to get more than 20 miles on a Onewheel Plus XR. And give you a nice little sticker. And really, that's it. That's everything that I have from the box. The wheel did come fully charged, which was nice. That's, again, something that is unusual, but I think part of that reason is because the wheel is actually manufactured in the United States. Well, actually, all of my electric unicycles come from China, and they always come with 20% or less battery charge on them, but I guess since this doesn't have to make that kind of journey, they actually fully charge the batteries and send them out that way, which is cool. Like I said, I got it the other day. Cindy and I spent, I don't know, maybe a half hour messing around on it, and in true Sean fashion, I ignored most of the information that I had found in regards to mounting the board the first time. I stepped on it in my bare feet and tried to just get it up into balance position without holding on to anything. And the end result was me tipping forward, and then as I tried to jump off, the board took off, which is normal behavior when you do something stupid like that. And because I didn't have anything on my feet, the grip tape like ripped a huge chunk of skin off the side of my toe. So bleeding all over the place, bleeding all over the board. So yeah, it was a good learning experience. And by the end of that half hour, I was able to bring up the balance, ride around slowly, and turn it off pretty consistently. So you'll see more of that when I take it outside. Cindy got on it. Cindy's actually excited about this because she actually has a skateboarding background, which I do not. When I was a kid, I had a skateboard, and I could push it around and go straight and do gentle turns and stuff, but I was never very good at it. So Cindy evidently has a lot more skateboard experience than I do, and she looked much more comfortable initially getting on the board. So it's gonna be interesting to see how she does in here. So that's really it for now. Let's go outside and see what kind of trouble I can get into. And of course, just as I'm out ready to go outside, this happens. Although the Onewheel is definitely equipped to ride in the rain, I don't think I really want to do my practice in it. So we'll ride this out a little bit. Alright, so while this is passing, hopefully, I have stuff in my teeth. So anyways, like I said, I got it at the local Ron John Surf Shop in Fort Myers. I was psyched to see that they charge the same thing as they do on the Onewheel website, even though that's not a cheap price. The Onewheel Plus XR retails for $17.99. So outside of my Gotway Monster, it's the most expensive device that I bought. The KingSong 18L, which I don't have yet, which is also on order. That's not quite as expensive, but it's close. So yeah, it's an expensive purchase, and without a doubt, I wouldn't say it was an impulse buy, because like I said, I've been thinking about it for a while. I certainly didn't need to get one right this second, but I don't know, for some reason I was excited about the challenge of learning to ride one. When I was first getting into EUCs a couple years ago, the Onewheel was one of the things I looked at, and at the time, first of all, like I mentioned, I don't have a skateboarding background, so that was a bit of a put off to me, but the technical specifications of the Onewheel were much less robust back then. With the original Onewheel, I think the range was like 3 to 5 miles, something really anemic. With the Onewheel Plus XR, like I mentioned, it's rated to go 12 to 18 miles on a charge, and can go even more depending on the conditions. And it also has a top speed of a posted top speed of 19 miles an hour, but again, I've seen people go much faster than that, so it is possible to go 20 miles an hour plus on a Onewheel. So I'm curious how this is going to compare to my experience learning to ride EUCs. I started out on my Ninebot 1 E+, and longtime viewers on the channel may recall how that went. And it was pretty darn horrific in the beginning. A lot of bumps and bruises, and at first it almost seemed like a hopeless situation, like there's no way I was ever going to learn this, and I had just wasted $600. So I think that's going to help me with learning the Onewheel, because again, I expect to struggle, but hopefully less. Not only because I've been through this process before learning to ride an electric unicycle, but I'm hoping that some of the skills that I've acquired from learning to ride an electric unicycle will translate to riding a Onewheel. Even though obviously the stance is different, and you still have a balancing mechanism that I'm thinking it won't feel horribly unfamiliar to me. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it compares to my learning experience initially with the EUCs. Okay, the sun is out, but it's still raining. Not an uncommon scenario in Florida. So how's your 4th of July been so far? I spent my entire morning, probably over 3 hours, weed whacking the property, and then mowing as well. And then Cindy finished up. She got on the mower and mowed the back half. The back half out there by the RV. She mowed that for me. So I like having all the space around me, but it really is a lot of labor to keep up with. Definitely, especially in the summer because of all the rain. It just the grass and everything just grows so fast. The weeds. It requires constant upkeep. That's for sure. All right. Well, the storm still has been going on, so I've resorted to doing some minor practicing inside, which is not advised because there's obstacles, and I've hit a few of them. But I am to the point where I can at least get up on the board, you know, without feeling very nervous. And I've been experimenting with goofy foot versus conventional stance, and I think I am definitely a goofy foot rider. This feels out of control the other way. When we first got on this the other night, I felt really shaky, like I was pulsating, similar to when I first got on the EC. So that's already settling down. I'm able to.
Please, I'm having a heart attack.
Well, then,
are you okay?
Get help.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're on film. That's awesome. I'm gonna have a heart attack. Every 5 minutes I hear a crash. There's a hole in the wall under here.
Well, that's why you don't do it inside.
Oh, I'm running away. Oh my God, no gear on. We have hard tile.
So I was just saying how I can consistently stop the board.
Oh my
and
God.
right there you saw what happens when you don't stop it correctly. Basically, this where my right foot is the pressure sensitive pad, and there's sensors on either side of it. And the way you disengage it is you have to slower than 1 mile an hour, and then lift your heel. Lift your heel, and then it shuts off, and then you can turn it off and get off safely. Or you can just jump off with 2 feet. And if you don't execute those things properly, what you just saw happen a minute ago happens. So, yeah. So, and doing better. But obviously have a long way to go. I don't know how to get out of that situation cleanly. Oof. Like if you find yourself leaning forward on those pressure pads, I guess, I mean, if you're outdoors, I would just jump off. But yeah, indoors, that's not a good thing. Well, everybody, this is the reality of living in Southwest Florida during wet season. Yesterday morning, 4th of July morning, Cindy and I busted ass into early afternoon, mowing and weed whacking everything in this entire property. It looked great. Everything was dry, well manicured, looked great. And now take a look. So in the span of 24 hours, we went from that to this. If I was to estimate over the 2 days, I bet we've gotten 7 inches of rain, maybe. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Last year, standing water like this started earlier, so at least it was put off a little bit, but it's kind of a mess. So it's kind of a bummer because I was really looking forward all day to finally getting out on the Onewheel, if nothing else, to ride in the driveway. And again, it's a freaking mess. So. Yeah. All right, and I am glad to see that you see that elevated spot. I've worked to raise that area of the back chicken yard up to at least give the birds an island of dryness in these conditions. And I actually want to pretty much double that and push it out towards the island there, or the playground area, so they have more dry land. So hopefully this stuff dries up a little bit and I'll get to work on that before the next monsoon hits. Alright guys, so I think it's going to wrap it up for this video. It certainly didn't have all the Onewheel content that I was hoping. due to the weather and the other circumstances, but I will do some extensive coverage of me going through the learning process more outdoors. And this weekend I'll definitely find some period of time when it's not raining to get that done. So, but anyways, my initial feelings about the Onewheel is I see a lot of potential fun there. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. There's definitely some differences, some major differences to EUCs, but there's also some similarities that I think are going to help me. You know, just the fact that I can competently coast back and forth most of the time and feel somewhat comfortable is a good thing. So yeah, should be an interesting experience to compare and contrast. So if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button down here or down here, wherever it is. And feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, and thoughts below. I read them all and try to respond as much as I can. So that's all for now. Until next time, Duffman out. Baby Elsa hates thunderstorms. Poor baby.